You wonderful, amazing, spectacular tea people. How Joe Bujan? It's been a while. I have been in Canada for a while and I finally have a little bit of free time. So I'm jumping in here. We're going to do a quick live stream, see how long I last in this brutal Taiwanese summertime heat. Although, in Southern Ontario where I was for this time period, it was still pretty um it was pretty hot. It was pretty hot. But back in Taiwan, it was a very, very good trip. It was wonderful, and I had a great time. And now it's back in Taiwan, and now it's getting ready and doing all the things that I hadn't done for a while. And what I guess a week ago today we got on the plane, and so since then, it has been catching up, sending out the subscription boxes and doing everything that I need to do to be back where we are right now. Relaxed. Everybody's teas have been sent out. Everything is back to normal. Everything's going the way it should go. And now I'm back to sampling teas and all of that type of stuff. I guess before we get started with we'll talk about this. What is this? Is this well, these two teas right here are a meditation on impermanence, and a meditation on impermanence. But let's get to what's going on here. So on Sunday there will be the bug bitten mutsa. There will be the light charcoal roast spring jade. There will be this one, which is the bug bitten jade. There will be the snow mist GABA. And various honey fragrance black teas and Eastern beauties released on Sunday. But that's what's coming on. I'm going to be also releasing probably on Sunday. I'll put more information about it. There's been lots of people asking about the tea cakes and all the things that were taken off the site while I was in Canada. All that stuff will be thrown back on Sunday, the same time the emails go out, so that I know there's a lot of people waiting. There's a tiny little bit of the 2020 Dongding tea cake. So that'll be put out all at the same time on Sunday. Where you gone during those crazy floods from the typhoon? More focused on the West Coast, though. Well, last year when I was gone, there was a big typhoon that rolled through right here, and poor Uncle Joe had to deal with the typhoon that hit his brother-in-law and his sister's house. This time, it all hit the other side of the island. So the other side of the island, all in the south, the central south, all that swath, right? So here's Taiwan. We're over here. This whole swath of the island, all here, Kaohsiung, Tainan, Chiayi, like the Alishan area, all those places just got hit. It was one of the worst rain events since Morakot, although I haven't heard too much about too many things up in the mountains. So I'm hoping that they're okay. But they got hit really bad this July. But over here in Hualien, as you can see behind me, the mountains are still kind of green. After big rains, sometimes you'll see like white streaks come down the mountains. You can see behind me here, there's like white streaks where there's a massive, huge and nasty landslide. Nobody lives over there. Not very many people live over there, and they certainly get out of the way when the typhoons or the big rains come. And so, yeah, we were okay. So far so good, knock on wood. But we probably will get, before the season's over, we'll get a typhoon or two. So let's talk about what we've got in front of us right here. Now this, like I said, is impermanence. This right here is last year's Chilai Mountain black tea. Now, this was and is still a legendary tea. This is one of the best black teas I've ever had in my life. And this is one of the best black teas that anybody has ever had in their life. If somebody says, oh, this is blah, 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 it's terrible, I don't like it, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with your taste buds. This is, the best black tea that I probably have ever had in my life. And this is last year's. Candy, fruit, smooth, just a touch of black teaness in the background, everything like that. Exciting to hear a few more A's in the live stream, having been in Canada for a while. Yes, well, it was in Canada for a while. So I had to get out of there. And the reason I had to get out of there, because this time of the year in Canada, everything's fresh. And it's the only time of the year in Canada where everything's fresh. And my poor family, they're there like, wow, this tastes so good. The corn's so good. Wow, this is so good. Everything's so good. And I'm like, guys, this only lasts for like 4 weeks in the middle of summertime. But I was starting to get Canada fat. And so I had to get had to get the hell out of there, because I was starting to get Canada fat, and I still am. Like, I've been. It's actually a little bit less. I can feel it. It's a little bit less, but it was so nice to be there and eating all that French stuff, the butter and the cheese and all that stuff. But I was in Canada for a couple weeks, and I forgot to do the fancy sound. We'll see what the difference is with the fancy sound. Anyways, whatever. So my boys, their English got a lot better, and I probably have some A's for sure. And this is this year's Chilai Shanghai Mountain Black. And like I said, it is a meditation on impermanence. You cannot get attached. You cannot have the desire. You cannot be attached to the physical world. You cannot be attached to think that everything will be the same forever. Here comes a plane again. Totally normal. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I actually have been the last little while. I've been getting up at 6 a.m. and because of jet lag, and so I've been actually getting all my work done by like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, which is wonderful. So 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, it's awesome. It's wonderful. I love waking up that early. I'm going to try and keep it today. It wasn't jet lag, but I still woke up at like 6:30. Orders that came in, got all the orders done, and getting ready. Anyways, what's the point? Point is, this is not as good as last year's. Now, this was a legendary tea, or is a legendary tea. For those who still have a little bit left, I still have a little bit left. This is a legendary tea. This is, in the annals of the Mountain Stream Teas catalog, I don't think anybody will ever disagree that this is sort of a legendary tea, up there with Missed Opportunity, the 2020 Dongding Tea Cake, and various things like that. And this one this year is different. Now, I wouldn't say it's a bad tea. That's not at all the way it is. It's just, I got it and I was expecting something that was to be at the same level, the same amount, the same goodness. I don't know, like the same level of this, but it's not. It's not at the same level. There are absolutely the same taste profile, like it's the exact same taste profile, absolutely. But this one is like, if this is sort of the mid-level of the palate, this one is like just here. Whereas this one is more like here. It's got the high notes, the beautiful fruit stuff, the sweet stuff, the stuff that you would expect from this garden, from this elevation, from this place. It's got it. But then it's also got down below here, it's got some of the more earthy flavors, the more malty flavors, the sort of the black tea type of stuff that you would get in any of those types of teas, right? In a sort of a black tea. This one here is the Jade. I want to compare and contrast them here. This one's going to be released. But I just got the sample in yesterday, actually. So I've been sort of drinking it and going through it and trying to figure out the nature of this year's pick. And it's still great. Like, if you've never had this tea before, you will be like, wow, it's so good. But the problem is, if you've had this tea before and you're expecting this level, you're gonna be a little bit you're gonna have to do a meditation on impermanence, and how you will never have your first love again. You will never have the first time you've had your favorite food. You'll never be able to experience, a sun-kissed peach fresh off the tree that's been ripened, and a juicy peach off the tree. You'll never be able to experience that for the first time again. And it's a difference. It's a difference. It's basically this thing here drenched in molasses. So it's this same tea, but it's drenched in molasses, which means that there's more darker flavors and it's pulled down more. So the really high notes are less high, and then there's more of it sort of around the palate, making it a rounder, earthier, maltier tea. And there'll be still lots of people that will really enjoy it. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. We'll see what the cost is this year. I assume it's the same as last year. We'll definitely get some, but it's not quite as exceptional as last year's tea. And they only get one chance a year to make this tea, right? That's it. One chance a year to make this tea. And so, I won't be. I was actually gonna use the direct translation in Chinese, but I'm just realizing now that the direct translation in Chinese has a double meaning, so I probably won't do that. 吹牛, basically making it sound very big. So the direct translation in Chinese is a little bit further than I wanted to go with it. It doesn't have the same connotation. Anyways, talking it up and making it too big. Yeah, I just realized that now before it came out of my mouth, which is good. I didn't do the direct translation of that particular idiom, which is good. But any questions about that, let me know. I'm going to have this on the site for sure. I'm going to have it back. But we'll see. I'm hoping maybe the price will be a little bit less because it's not quite as exceptional as it was last year. Now, this tea is all going to be released this weekend. If you bought tea this month, so this last month, July, or last month, I should say, Uncle Joe did an amazing job. He just did an amazing job getting the teas out there. There probably will be mistakes out there. If you have a mistake, just let me know. Full refund or replacement or whatever. Don't worry about it. It'll just happen. But everybody who got tea last month, what I did was I put out. Wow, so different. Isn't that interesting? Anyways, what I did was I put out the samples. I just did like hundreds of samples for the various teas that were going to be sent out. And I just did hundreds of samples for the various teas that were going to be sent out. And the reason that I did that, I guess I can just do it here. The reason that I did that was so that we wouldn't have to worry about it. Usually when somebody orders tea, I do samples that sort of fit their taste preferences, or I go like, if they ordered all floral teas, then actually I might throw in a black tea or something like that, just to challenge them, see what my mood is, what I'm feeling like. But what I did was the teas that had not been released yet, which are two of them, this one and this one. There's also a bug bitten Mutsa that had not been released yet, which will be released on the weekend. I just did, hundreds of samples with those, and I sent them out. And so if you bought tea last month, those are the samples you're going to get. And this was one of those teas. And I'm already starting to get people going, hey, I got the sample for the bug bitten moods. I got the sample for this. I got the sample for this. Where is it? Where are those teas? And they will be released on Sunday. But this one here is this one. I think I've had it a couple times on the live stream, and I haven't quite figured it out. I don't quite get it. I don't quite really understand exactly what's going on with this tea. And, I'll be the first to admit it. But I've already had a couple of emails of people saying, you sent me this tea. It was called Light Roast Spring Jade. And I love it. And it's awesome. It's wonderful. Where is it? And, it's coming. It will be released on Sunday, along with this one here, which is the Honey Fragrance Jade. This one's actually from last year. It's got a year of age on it. And it's got a nice sweetness to it. It's got a really, really nice sweetness to it. It's like sort of half between the High Mountain Chilai and the Honey Fragrance Black Tea, so right in the middle there. So it's got aspects of both. Really quite a nice aftertaste. I haven't had it for a while, obviously, so I'm just I got to do tasting notes for these this week, so I'm just sort of using this as an excuse to drink it. And then we'll get into this one right here. So what this is the spring, this year's spring Jade Mountain. And this year's spring Jade Mountain, it was charcoal roasted. Now, quite lightly charcoal roasted, not a heavy charcoal roast, but you can definitely taste the charcoal roast. And so what it does is it brings out this duality with this tea. When you do this with these teas, a light charcoal roast on these greenish oolongs, you get a like roasted spinach up front, and then all of the highlights, brings out, and makes extraordinarily strong the beautiful floral flavors that are coming out for the sort of the high mountain oolongs. And this one does it really, really well. And that also makes it kind of esoteric, right? So what you're looking at when these teas, you're looking at something that is upfront roasty, roasty spinach vegetable up front, and then it's very, very dual. In the background and in the aftertaste, you're getting a gorgeous floral. And it takes a couple seconds to hit. It's not for beginners. This is not a beginner tea. This is sort of an advanced tea. Actually, I got the other day, I got a review as well. I'm going to have to start sort of putting these things out. I was I wasn't disappointed. I understood exactly why I got this review, but there was somebody who threw out a review about the Old Master Baozong, and they were like, "Yeah, it's a good greenish oolong. I got greenish oolong. It's not that special," and I think I might start putting out sort of a beginner, intermediate, advanced thing for the teas, because I can definitely understand all these people talking about the Old Master Baozong, and they're all saying, "Whoa, it's amazing! It's the most amazing thing I've ever had. It's so beautiful. Oh, I can't drink other Baozongs. It's." And then you've never had a Baozong before, and you try that tea, and you're like, "I don't know. There's a little bit of bitterness in it. I guess I kind of got the creaminess, but why is it so expensive? I don't like it." I totally get it, right? I totally 100% get that. And obviously, I feel a little bit disappointed about it, in the sense that that person, if they try a bunch of other Baozongs and then they go back to that tea, they're just going to be, it'll be a very, very different experience for them. But I think what it boils down to is expectations, right? That tea is dramatic. That tea is beautiful for people that have had the other Baozongs, right? If you're just getting into Baozongs, just get a Four Seasons one. We have some decently priced ones on the site. You get a cheaper Baozong, and you're like, "Wow, Baozongs are great. I really enjoy them." And you can get into that tea, and you can realize sort of what a cheaper Baozong is like. Cheaper Baozongs, the ones that are not so exceptional. They're really upfront flavors. They've got really upfront flavors. They've got, they just blast you, right? The cheaper ones, they just blast you with all these flavors. Now, there's not too much in the background, and they may have brewed it particularly hard too. Well, there you go, right? So there's that aspect to it, how they brewed it, things like that. And my point is just that I think I should be putting something on the site that says, this is sort of advanced, intermediate, beginner, sort of who it's good for, right? Who it's good for. Some of the teas, for example, the Old Master Baozong, or so the Old Master Dongding is good for everybody, right? It's really hard to mess up that tea. That tea is almost impossible to mess up. The Old Master Dongding, doesn't matter how you brew it, where you brew it, with whatever water, you're gonna probably have a really good time. So it's good for those three different levels. But the Old Master Baozong, nope. If you're a beginner, you probably shouldn't get that tea. You probably shouldn't spend money on that tea. You probably shouldn't. And who knows? Maybe the person who did it has tried all the Baozong, the review that they left. Maybe they've tried all the baozongs and they're, blah blah blah. Maybe I'm just wrong. Who cares? Everybody's subjective. That's not the point. Point is, I'm just thinking I really should be sort of tempering people's expectations about these types of teas, because the worst thing is somebody who spends a lot of money and they feel like they're ripped off. Right? That's the worst. Right? So, and that tea is expensive. Right? That's not a cheap tea. And there's a lot of teas like that. Now this one, it's not that expensive, right? But this one in particular is a this light roast Spring Jade Mountain is absolutely an advanced tea. Because if you're thinking, oh, this is a high mountain oolong, I'm going to be getting, fresh wind through a beautiful field full of wildflowers in the Alps sort of flavor. That's not what you're going to get with this tea. This is not what it is, right? This is almost the exact opposite of that. You're going to get the flavor is much more like one of those flowers from that area, brought down, wilted a little bit, and then gently and expertly roasted over top of a charcoal grill. Right, so you smell it, you smell it, you taste the flower, you're like, oh, it's a charcoal roasted flower, and then in the background, in the aftertaste, you're going to be like, wow, there is that beautiful flower taste, that beautiful flower smell, and so that's what this is much more like. And so somebody who gets this, who's expecting sort of a high mountain flavor or something like that, they're going to have a terrible time. Terrible time. I wonder if some less experienced are used to brewing high mountain ball rolled oolong, and then for whatever reason they treat a strip style baozong too similarly. Yep, could be. I mean, there's tons of things going on, and it's an isolated case. No, that's not an isolated case actually. For that one, I think I told this story before, but last year there was the Old Master Green. So there's the Old Master Baozong and the Old Master Green, and the Old Master Green was done sort of in the Japanese style. And I got this email, and this person was like, "Oh my God, it smells like rotted fish. What's wrong with this tea? It's terrible. It's awful. It's blah 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 blah." And I just wrote them back, and I was like, "Yeah, that's called umami." And I sent them like sort of a list of the taste points and various things. Like, yeah, they did it on purpose, right? It's a style of tea. And because you don't get that in Taiwanese teas, right? Taiwanese teas, they're sanxia green style teas, right? That's what you're looking at when you're looking at sanxia teas. And I'm actually quite happy. I'm glad. I can't buy all of their tea, of course, but my friends in Sanxia, I think there's another Western-facing vendor that has found them and is using their teas as well. So I'm happy for that. I'm quite happy for my friends, because they're going to be able to make some extra money. But the Sanxia teas are there's something completely different. They're not sort of the Japanese style green teas. They don't have that flavor profile. And anyways, I'm going off on wild tangents while I'm talking about this particular tea. But this particular tea will be released on Sunday. And the couple emails I've gotten from the people who were asking about this tea, because they got it in a package sort of sometime in July. Were my neighbor smokes, but I've never quite heard that before. Hopefully that didn't make it into the live stream there. But they were expert tea drinkers. They've been drinking tea from me for years. They very refined palates, wonderful. Like, I was like, wow, okay. If anybody's going to enjoy this tea, it's going to be people of your stature of tea drinking. But it's round, smooth, gorgeous florals with that upfront of the charcoal roast coming out on it, and it's beautiful tea. It is, but it's unique. And I bought it a while ago, but I've been sort of keeping it off the site because I'm scared. I mean, it's like, I guess I have to be less scared. What I have to do is be less scared of. So what the culture of, I'm realizing this now, and I have to accept it and be more appreciative of it. Is the culture of reviewing online now. It used to be if you really like something, you'd write a review about it. Now it's sort of flipped. It's like if you really don't like something, then you write a review about it. And so before, if somebody didn't like something, they would write a couple good reviews and then a bad review about the thing they didn't like. Now I'm realizing that people just want to complain, unfortunately. Or maybe it's because there's more people buying. Anyways, point is that now I'm getting more of these. And by more, I mean like one or two a month. It's not like, but the culture of reviewing has changed. And so I'm realizing this more is that people, and I'm wondering why I kind of get why it's happened, but it's a cultural thing, and I've got to start changing my sort of style and reaction to these types of things, and sort of be more proactive. I don't know. I'm still figuring out how best to deal with that, how best to deal with the change in the culture of online discourse, because I mean everybody knows that online discourse sucks. It's disgusting, and but generally speaking, for my business and high quality teas and things like that, I've been able to stay under the radar enough, so I don't know how to really deal with it. But I'm realizing now that as we get bigger, as we get bigger, I'm realizing there's more and more of these situations that are going to be happening. As someone who operates a restaurant, I cannot agree more. Yes, exactly, right. And I oh, I can't go into it too much, but I'm sorry you're experiencing that. Honestly, I'm sorry you're experiencing that. But I've also found that people too, like the really really good people, they're able to sort of cut through the BS. Like for me, for example, it's really easy for me to go through reviews and sort of uh, uh, be able to cut through where the reviews are coming from and be like, oh, I don't have to listen. I don't have to. Oh, that, you know. Um, I will not mention, but for example, there is whenever you're looking at hiking, there is a certain type. There is a certain country where people would come to Taiwan and they would go hiking, and they would say, "Oh, this is the hardest hike ever. I had a terrible time. I got a blister," and it was like a 30-minute walk. And so when you were looking at the reviews of various hikes, you would know that if somebody was from this particular area of the world, you would just sort of you could skip that. You could skip that one-star review. So I think that people do sort of realize that and they go through it. Um, and but I've got to get into this frame of mind where I've got to not so much do defense, but acknowledge that this is what's happening now and shift the way that I'm doing things to make it so that it is, like I said before, putting the beginner, the intermediate, and the advanced sort of who is this good for on the website, and be like, this is good for beginners, intermediates, and advanced, good for everybody. This is only good for intermediate and advanced. This is only good for advanced. This is not for beginners types of teas, and throw that out there and just be like, listen, wherever you are in your tea journey, no value judgment. If you're just starting out, don't spend all your money on the old master Baozong, right? Just don't do it. You don't need to spend all your money. If you want to try it out, you're probably not going to appreciate it if you have not tried out a bunch of the other Baozongs try other places, right? Go get those chemical Baozongs that give you headaches but taste like shampoo, right? Go try those. Like get your headache, be like, taste the shampoo, get your headache, and then when you figured it out, come on back here, spend the money, and there you go. But that's what I think I've got to start doing. and realize that that's sort of what's coming. And again, I'm sorry you're having to deal with that. I mean, I'm sure in the restaurant business, it just must suck. I think what's happened now more and more is that there is this culture online where people have no identity and they have no, the only feedback they get is from the internet world. They're quite lonely people, quite lonely, sad people. And so the only way that they get interaction with the online world is writing really negative reviews. And I found that too, that a lot of the negative reviews are interpersonal things, you know, like somebody did something wrong, or I'll give you an example. There's one place in Hualien that is a fascinating restaurant. So I used to mention this before Seinfeld became famous again, but the Soup Nazi. So everybody knows the Soup Nazi. Now, before people, there was a period of time where people forgot about the Soup Nazi. So I remember mentioning it or making a joke about it on trips with Europeans. They'd be like, "Soup Nazi?" You know, they'd be like, "What are you talking about?" People know what it means now. Anyways, the point is, there was a restaurant here in Hualien that was doing ice. So they would have shaved ice and various types of ice, and they did a really good job. Beautiful ice. But they had the Soup Nazi complex. And so if somebody put their feet up on a seat, or if somebody came in 15 minutes before closing, or if somebody had a noisy child, they would say something. And they would actually kick people out. So somebody let their kid run around the restaurant, they'd be like, "I'm sorry, you have to leave." And so what happened was, this restaurant, they went from like, you know, like a decent amount of stars down to like 2 stars, because there would be like a family with obnoxious children, or maybe not, I don't know, whatever. And they would say, "I'm sorry, you have to leave. You can't control your children." And then every single person in the family, and they'd get their friends to write this nasty review. Ice was great. The people there are terrible. And they would write for every incident. They would write like a huge, like 5 people, 6 people write 1 stars. And so they actually had this like 2 out of 5 star review system going for this ice store. And my family used to really enjoy going there, and I guess still sort of do. But you would have to go in. You would have to walk in. You'd sit down. You'd order what it was. You take out your book. You couldn't really even talk. And then they'd bring out the dessert to you, and it would be beautiful desserts. Like, they really take care. But it would take so long for them to make it. Anyways, what's the point? Point is that that's sort of where the culture of online reviews are going. They're going to sort of people who only get interpersonal connection through flaming other people, unfortunately. And if you're out there and you run a restaurant, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I hope that it changes. I hope that it changes. I know where it's coming from. I understand where it's coming from. I don't say I say nothing bad about the people that are doing it. I totally get it. Totally 100% get it. Understand it, where it's coming from, the culture of it, all of that stuff. But I'm going to have to get sort of proactive on some of this stuff, and acknowledge that it's happening. But I think, and your Google reviews, unfortunately, can dictate quite a lot of foot traffic into your restaurant. Yes. Yeah. For restaurants, especially. And that story that I told about that ice cream store, that ice store, they didn't do ice cream, they did shaved ice. I think what they did was, there's like rules. If you move your restaurant, or if it's like new ownership or something, you can change it so you can start from 0 again. I think that's what they did, because the reviews were so terrible. I think it was affecting their business. And anyways, I'm glad I'm not in the tourism industry anymore. I survived 10 plus years in the tourism industry without getting a review lower than 4 out of 5 stars. You can look it up. Hualien Outdoors. You can look it up. TripAdvisor, Hualien Outdoors. I think it's still there. Anyways, obviously I've shut that business. but 10 plus years of not getting lower than a 4-star review for hundreds, if not thousands of trips. I was quite proud of that. And, as anybody who works in the tourism industry, as anybody who has a restaurant, I can tell you some stories. Some really crazy stories about people that I met and things that happened. Like crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Famous people and all that. But I was always able to keep the quality of all that stuff high enough. Anyways, I think I'm just about done. So to recap, I've got a call in. Oh, wow. The longer you brew this tea, the better it gets. It's, wow. Why was I so nervous about releasing this? It's amazing. It really is. The longer you brew it, there's fruit flavors coming out, floral flavors as you go through the steeps. I think too, when I first got it, it was still, the roast was a little strong, but this is a gorgeous tea. This light roast, charcoal roast. Ate at a Xiaolongbao spot in your neck of the woods. Was curious if you had been to that particular spot. If it was in Hualien, there is the famous Xiaolongbao place, with Xiaolongbaos, the steamed buns. And when I first came here, I ate it regularly because I had no money and no language ability, and you could just go, and it was like 50 NT to fill up your stomach, because you just get a basket of it for 50 NT back in the day, and I'd be like, 50 NT, and I have not had that for probably 20 years now, because it's one of those foods. If you have every once in a while and don't overdo it, you can survive. But I had it. I overdid it. I cannot eat it anymore. I overdid it. And that is not. It's not a particularly healthy. It's not a particularly healthy meal place. But the first time you have it, gorgeous. Like, you're just like, wow, it's so cheap. It tastes so good. It's amazing. Oh, and then, anyways. And if you're traveling, you just, like, if you're on your motorcycle and you've been traveling on your motorcycle for a really long time, and you get off the motorcycle, like, I'm so hungry, I want to eat something. It'd be great. It'd be great for a cheap, fast, tasty dinner. Their sauce is nice too. Anyways, what's happening on Sunday? Bug Bitten Mutsa is being released. The light roast, spring light roast, light charcoal roast jade oolong is being released. This one here, the jade honey black will be released. The snow mist GABA. I'll do another live stream this week. So I'll do another live stream this week with the Jade Mountain GABA, or the Snow Mist GABA, which has been sitting on the shelf. I buy them in the springtime. I know the GABA needs some time. I didn't even open it up this year. I just got it, stuck it on the shelf, the Snow Mist GABA. I know there's a lot of people that are looking for that one. That'll be released as well. Then there are the tea cakes, the white, the Sancha white, the Sancha green, the Sancha white, the Sancha green, I have a little bit of the 2020 Dongding Oolong left. So all of those teas will be put back onto the site. So everybody has, there's a lot of people waiting for some of those teas. So they'll be all put back on the site at the same time. And there's a couple honey fragrance black teas that I've got to do. They probably will be released this Sunday. There's also a couple Eastern Beauties that were in last month's subscription box that will be almost certainly released onto the site. I've just got to go through them this Sunday. And yeah, back in town, I worked 12-hour days in the middle of the night, getting over my jet lag to get the subscription box and everybody's packages out. So if there's a couple people that ordered last week that didn't get sent out till Monday, I apologize for that. You a little bit late for about 5 days or so, But now if you're ordering tea, it's going to be sent out basically within 12 to 24 hours of your ordering. As long as it's a business day. Yeah, last call for questions. Any questions out there? I'm also, I'll talk about it more as I sort of get my digested food together. But I think I'm going to try and do a fulfillment sort of center and hire some people. And when that happens, I'll have some more freedom to travel around and make tea and help with tea production around Taiwan. But I'm hoping to pull that off in the fall. But I think I'm going to try and get that started in the next couple months, which is a huge deal for me. I'd have to hire probably someone, maybe more than one. And I hate it. I hate being a laoban, being a boss. I hate it. But you know what they say, right? The thing that you have the most fear about, or the most restricted towards, or the thing that you dread, that is where the most positive aspects of your future lie. You have to go slay the dragon. You have to go look into the cave. You have to bravely take out your sword and walk through the cave. And that's where, for me, I probably have to go in the next little while. I'm not looking forward to it. But if I can pull it off, then everybody will get even cheaper teas at and more of them, and some more educational stuff on the internet. So hopefully I can do that. So to recap, again, there's those teas that I just mentioned. They're going to be released on Sunday. The High Mountain Chilai Shan Oolong, black tea. Last year's black tea, as anybody who's tried it knows, was a legendary tea, and it is going to be stuck on the shelf as a legendary tea. There's not really much more we can do about it. This year's tea, which is this one here, is still great, but it's a little bit lower. So that last year's tea was just legendary. All those fruit flavors, the candy fruit flavors up here, those are sort of knocked back. They're still there. You still get some of them, but it's more like that tea sort of drenched in molasses. And so it's less of the high notes and more of sort of the sweet molassesy notes. And but I'll have it on the site. It's just not quite the same as last year's. The good news is that this thing lasts for so many steeps. It's insane how many steeps it lasts. The Chilai Black is ready. I got the sample. Again, totally normal. 10 o'clock in the morning. I got the sample in. Last year's was probably the best black tea that anybody will ever have in their life. This year's is not quite to the same level. It's still good. It's still good. But those candy high notes are just knocked back a little bit. It's got sort of more of the lower notes, more of a molassesy flavor to them. And the good news is that it lasts an insane amount of steeps. I was testing this thing today, and it just lasts forever. You just keep adding water to it, and you're getting flavor out of these leaves. It's amazing. And so I will have it back. I'm probably gonna order it and then let it sit, stick it on the highest shelf in here, just in the warehouse, have it just bake in super, super high heat. Just have it bake in super, super high heat. And I'll release that probably first week of September. But it's back. Yep. Anyways, they finished it, and I'm just sort of sampling it now. And I will say it's last year's was something else, and this year's is still good, but it's not exactly the same. But I'll write that up when I release it, of course. And I'll probably release it a little bit earlier this year. Yeah, sort of September, mid-September, something like that, give or take. This is the Jade Mountains, the Spring Jade Mountain light charcoal roast, and it's really, really, really good. But it's an advanced tea. You know, we talked about it. The more you brew it, the more floral and fruit flavors come out in the back end. And sort of a bipolar tea. Up front, roasty, really roasty. Then as you go through, it gets lighter and more flowing. And then, of course, the Jade Mountain Honey Black. I think that's about it. Last call for questions. Or throw it out there. Any call for questions? This month, what's coming up? I'm getting a bunch of teas in. So the summertime, Ruby 18 and number 8. The middle of the month is the sort of the fall Pear Mountain. So the fall Pear Mountains, middle of the month. Looking forward to those. And sort of the other fall teas are sort of middle of the month. And I will say this, though, the fall teas might not be, they might be a little washed out. There's been a lot of rain. We'll see what happens in the next 2 weeks, but there's been a lot of rain this summer, so they might be a little washed out. But we'll see what happens. You know, it's the tough part of this, in the sense that, you know, I have to compare, and we have to compare all the teas to the best ever. You know, you're not going to be able to have the best ever every year, and so the growing conditions change all the time. But we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see what happens. I'm also going to be doing a lot of roasting experiments, so I've got a lot of teas that I need to roast. And now, in the doldrums of in August, I'll be able to have some time to pull that off. But anyways, I think that's it for now. Back in Taiwan, no delays on packing teas, and I'll do a couple, maybe 1 or 2 more live streams this week with the teas that are going to be released soon. And yeah, wherever you are in the world, I certainly hope you have just an amazing and wonderful. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to get the here the YouTube. There we go. There's the hearts on the YouTube. Wherever you are in the world, I certainly hope you have an absolutely amazing morning, night, evening, and all of that. Sleep well. Have a wonderful day today and tomorrow. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next live stream.